Hey, happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to another chamber check-in episode from Idaho's only five-star accredited chamber. And today I'm so excited to introduce Zeb Moores with Leap Housing. Hi, Zeb.
Hey, Paul, thanks for having me in today.
Absolutely. I was looking at Leap Housing, the website today, and I learned a ton. And that's what these chamber check-ins are all about, are helping share our member stories, their products, services, but more importantly, I love sharing the people. So, Zeb, a little background here. These chamber check-ins started back in March of 2020 during the pandemic, and when businesses were shuttering, right? And as an organization that gathers people for a living and advocating on behalf of our chamber members, how are you doing, Zeb? How's the team doing?
Oh, we're doing great. We got a new office last year, so we kind of got to grow a little bit, not be all up on each other. And it's been really nice to get back out in the community, be seeing everybody in person, and really just that's the core of our work. We connect with people in order to move the mission forward. So it's been a blast, and our team has been working real well.
Awesome. So, Zeb, tell us a little bit about you. What's your background and history of work that led you into working with a nonprofit organization like Leap Housing?
Yeah, so I moved to Boise to go to Boise State University, go Broncos. And I was a sign language interpreter while I was in school. So both of my parents are deaf, and that's kind of where I got the hey, what's going on in our community? How can we help our community members kind of move forward a little bit? And when I was doing that, I was like, okay, like interpreting's fun, but I think it would be a little bit more impactful if I try to look for something else. So while I was in school, I tried out different internships, nonprofits, political campaigns, things like that. And I was like, you know what? The nonprofit sector is where I want to go to make the biggest impact on the community. So after I graduated, I was like, all right, hey, boss, I'm not going to interpret anymore. Thanks for the last 4 years or whatever. Started looking for a job, and Leap popped up. And at the time, it was Leap Charities about 4.5, maybe 5 years ago. And went in for interview, and I've been there ever since. I haven't considered leaving.
Wow. Incredible story, Zeb. We didn't talk about that before we went live.
No.
The idea that you grew up with hearing impaired parents, I think that's incredible. So thank you for the work that you've done, helping connect community to the hearing impaired. That is incredible. Um, okay, let's talk about Leap Housing. Tell, help me share a little bit about the origin story of Leap, and then we'll get into
Yeah.
the mission and vision here in a second. Tell us about the when and why and how.
Yeah. So our CEO and founder, Bart Cochran, back in a little bit before 2016, he was a real estate professional. So him and his business partner was out there doing real estate deals, helping people buy homes. But then it started to set in where it's like there's more and more people who we can't be able to help because of wages versus housing costs or whatever it may be. And that was back in 2016. So Bart was like, you know what? Let's start up this nonprofit arm of our business, and let's see if we can kind of make a contribution to the community that way, and make sure that we can serve all the folks in Boise and throughout the Treasure Valley. So that's kind of the origin story of how Leap started to focus on housing in 2016, and really we've grown since then.
Okay, incredible. That I hear that over and over that you're in an industry and you're solving problems, you're helping your clients, and then something comes up where there's an impact that you can make by utilizing your expertise. And so I love that how this was spawned from someone who was already in the real estate industry who saw a need and fill a need, right? Um,
Exactly.
so now help me share a little bit about the Leap Housing's programs and services. What does Leap do?
Yeah. So if I could sum up everything that we do in one sentence, we are focused on bringing affordable housing inventory to the state of Idaho. So that's our big thing. It can come through the creation of new developments, new affordable housing that we're building, and it can come through the form of us preserving existing affordable housing like manufactured home parks or buildings that have always kind of served the affordable housing spectrum, but they just need a new owner or a new person to kind of run it. So that's really what we're focused on, and providing all of the supportive services, because you just have the house, there's other stuff that you need. There are other social determinants of health outside of housing. So we try to connect our folks with as many people in the community, and we just try not to replicate anything that's already existing out there. So if I could explain it a little bit, so you got Catch, which is a great nonprofit in Boise, and they're kind of focused on serving and connecting with folks who are experiencing homelessness. And then you have Jesse Tree, which is the next ring up, and they're focused on preventing homelessness through evictions and other things like that. And then we're the next one up, which is we need more units in order to house everybody who's coming to Idaho. So that's really what we've been focused on since 2016.
Wow. Help share some of the projects that we would be familiar with.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of larger ones recently, but two of the exciting ones that we did complete last year are home ownership units. So we were able to go out, build a whole bunch. I think we built 25 to be exact, home ownership units. We provided up to $112,000 in down payment assistance. So we were able to thread that needle of, if you're earning 80% of area median income or below, you can still access home ownership and not pay more than 35% of your gross income on housing. So those were two of the exciting ones. That's called Caritas Commons and Whitney Commons. Both are in Boise. And then a little later on in the year, last year, Golden Glow Tower got some press run time. So 64 units of existing affordable housing, but specifically for seniors in Nampa. So this was our first kind of focused on senior housing project. So we acquired that at the tail end of last year, and it's been incredible. And then the next one that's on the docket, we broke ground at the tail end of last year, and it's really been moving quick. But we're doing our largest project yet to date out in Mountain Home, and that'll be, when it's all said and done, it'll be 136 units, a mix of home ownership and rentals. And it's been really cool because we got to work with the Western Idaho Health Collaborative. I'm screwing up the name, I apologize. But WHC, we partnered with them to kind of do a study on, hey, what does the community need? What are things that are lacking? And we're able to implement all of that into our design and into our construction. So we should be finishing up the first phase at the tail end of this year, if not early next year. And then we'll start phase 2 shortly after that.
Well, I'd like to share with the listeners some of the units, but right now I'm looking at Caritas Commons, and it's a classy outfit. It's really well done. Tell us a little bit about the quality of product.
Yeah. A big part of what we do is to bring a dignifying aspect to affordable housing. One of our big things is, hey, we want residents to be like, hey, I hosted Thanksgiving for the first time in like 15 years. I have no problem inviting my children's kids over for a sleepover. Those are the things that we want to hear. Something that you're not like, do I have to invite people over? No, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that at all. It should be dignifying. It should be clean. It should be crisp. It should feel like you're walking into any other market rate or something of that nature. You shouldn't have to feel that it's affordable housing when you walk in. It should feel like any other home.
I love it. And there's the Windy Court, and then you have Nampa. You've got some units in Boise that are just regular homes and regular streets, and Whitney Commons, Shamrock Homes in Boise, and then the Falcons Landing in Mountain Home. That looks awesome.
Yes, Falcons Landing. Yeah, that's the big one. We're super excited. It's been a long time coming, and then COVID came and all the construction costs, yada yada. So we're really happy to finally get it going at the tail end of last year.
Okay. Hey, you mentioned all these projects, but it doesn't happen without your extraordinary team. And you mentioned Bart Cochran, but there's more to that team.
Oh, absolutely.
Any shout outs while we have you to shout out some of your teammates and what they do?
I would love to shout out every single one of them, but I don't think we got the time for that. But really, like the construction team, just really keeping projects moving and making sure that we're hitting all of our targets. And then really, we do have a lot of folks that work with our clients. And that's so crucial, is the relationship building of that. So we got the construction team. We kind of got the public facing. Hey, you want to buy a home? Let's figure it out. We're with you, and let's figure this one out. And then we kind of got the comms and fundraising side of things, which is kind of what I do. So it's so fun to see all three kind of groups of the team have their different strengths, and we don't necessarily overlap all that much, but we all know what everybody's doing, and we're pushing our collective mission forward, that's what's so great about nonprofit work.
Well, Zeb, tell us a little bit about how we can take action as community involvement.
Yeah, so this year is a leap year. It comes once every 4 years. And this year we got some really exciting stuff cooking up in the kitchen a little bit for Leap Day. So it'll be at the end of the month on the 29th. We get the 366th day of the year. And we have some awesome opportunities. So we're partnering with Kin for a week of dinners that are Leap inspired. And Chris and Remy over there at Kin are tremendous. So obviously keep an eye out for that. We'll have a specific dinner for Leap on Thursday night, and really the whole week is just awareness for Leap through Kin, which we really do appreciate. And then we got some exciting announcements to make on the 29th between people, organizations, companies. So we're really trying to just get the word out a little bit, some awareness at the end of the month for Leap Year and Leap Day in particular, that like, hey, affordable housing is still a need. It's not going anywhere. And hey, you guys can partner with us in order to make our community a little bit more affordable for our neighbors.
I love that, and thank you for working with a chamber member business, Remy and Chris. Obviously, award-winning restaurant. Their whole atmosphere. When you go and sit down for a dinner, it's an experience, and I think that's really cool. So you're selling tickets to a dinner to help raise some money?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we'll be rolling out where you can buy tickets here either today or Monday morning, and we'll get that out on our social media and website and all that. And we're also inviting folks in the community to be business sponsors of Leap Day. So we've been talking to folks, and you guys can sponsor the work that we're doing, really just contributing to affordable housing. And we'll be pushing everybody to go visit those businesses on Leap Day, essentially saying, hey, look at these local businesses that are supporting affordable housing. Go support them. That's something that we really care about. We want to build more partnerships in the community. So if you're a business out there and you're looking to sponsor something like that, we're always looking for sponsors on Leap Day to kind of share our message and bring more people into the work of affordable housing.
Well, I tell you, we're not a resort community like in Sun Valley and like McCall, but we have housing issues, especially workforce housing issues. And with all the construction that's going on, and with all of our subcontractors that maybe not live here, but need a place to live while these 2 and 3 year projects are going on. And then obviously, all of our workforce out there needs a place to live. So I really appreciate that Leap Housing is doing something to solve the affordable housing issue. That's huge.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And we can't do it alone. We're just one piece of the puzzle. Some stats out there say that we're 25 units short of what we need for affordable housing units in the state. And there's no one organization who can just, all right, that deficit is clean. We have enough units. So we're just a drop in the bucket. We're just a piece of the puzzle. So we're always looking to work with other folks and kind of work,
Yeah, no, absolutely. So also on the website, I have it scrolling on the bottom of the screen to learn more about what they do, who they are, some of the local press that's going on in the stories. But you can subscribe to receive their information. You can donate. You can volunteer. What is bid opportunities? What is that?
Those are for businesses who are contractors. So whenever we're starting up a project, we want to work with local businesses. So we always put out our bids up there, and we also send it out in an email list. Just so that folks in the local community who are running businesses, plumbing, whatever the needs may be for one of our projects, trying to get that out there.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you brought that up. For any chamber member service businesses that would like to participate with Leap's projects, give Zeb and the team a call. Look up at leaphousing.org. Hey, is there anything else while I have you today that you'd like to educate the listeners on?
necessarily. I mean, at the end of the day, we all know that affordable housing is a water cooler issue. We've been talking about it for years now, and sometimes it can feel like, whoa, that's a big problem. 25,000 units, how much money is that? Millions? How can I help? But really, there's a role for everybody. So whether you have the technical expertise that you could donate, or you have the funds, or you just have the, hey, I'm going to tap my buddy over here and say, hey, you should probably care about affordable housing and kind of communicate that awareness. We need everything that we can muster up right now as a community. So really, if you want to see all of our neighbors being housed in an affordable manner, let's do something about it. You can do something about it.
Zeb, thank you so much for your time. I learned a ton today, and I know our listeners did as well. Appreciate the work that you and your team are doing, and I look forward to our next conversation, Zeb. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul.